Hello, friends. This is not a preaching or a teaching or some kind of criticism, but this is a way of keeping forward some thoughts about the massive collapse of relationships as it is happening in today's day and age. I meet a lot of people in their 40s, 30s, 50s, and they have this fear of missing out on the companionship, on the love, on the togetherness that a relationship can bring into their lives, that a partner can bring into their lives. And this is true for straight people, homosexual people, bisexual people, straight for everyone. And this struggle is going on where there's no family support as such, because parents, nobody lives with their parents nowadays, especially in cities. Very few people do. But mostly they're alone, lonely in some way. And this loneliness kind of can kill in some way if you're not. And that's why there's this need for spirituality. There's need for new age spirituality. People feel the need to meditate, go to ashrams. Ashrams are crowded. If you go to any ashram, it's crowded. It's like a bus station. Even the rarest of rare ashrams are now becoming crowded like bus stations. And this is the loneliness epidemic. But with relationships, I think there is something that is very systemic that needs to change, and we need to reflect on it. We cannot just say, oh, okay, the world is designed like this, the politicians will decide like that. Donald Trump is the number one leader in the world, right? The leader of the most developed country. Do you think he's capable of giving anything which is sane and positive to the world? I don't think so. So, having said that, a rethink is required, a relook is required. And a lot of people are working in this direction. But I'll just put forward some thoughts about this. So, when a child is young, 16 to 18 years of age, Osho and many other people, they say he's at the peak of his vitality, vigor, he or she is at the peak, and they're bursting with energy, vitality. And that is the time you push them, be a good boy, be a good girl, prepare for some competitive exam. These competitive exams are another disease. Then there is this, prepare for some corporate, prepare for some profession, try to become something, study, and they inside their hormones are bursting. They are completely going berserk. So that is the time when the right education connected with relationships, connected with intimacy, connected with all this stuff has to be given. That is the time. Or even before that, we start a little bit early, make it part of our family values. And then part of the school education. Our school education does not teach us communication. It does not teach us finance. It does not teach us how to relate. It doesn't talk anything about what happens in the bedroom. So people are watching pornography, perverted things. And you see how the system is perverted and inverted. I call it perverted and inverted. Maybe that's going to be the next book. So perverted and inverted because we are struggling to do the right things at the right time. And what do you get from all this education? You'll start working for some corporate, and then the corporate bosses will make huge profits. They will enjoy their pota potty parties in Dubai, or they will find another Epstein, for all you know. So the world is on the brink of massive corrupt collapse, because this corruption, at the leadership level is huge. And having said that, we need to prepare for relationships right from a very young age, because our education system is flawed in that sense. It doesn't address any vital aspects of life. It only wants to create workers, it wants to create clerks, right? So we have to think about this very seriously. And okay, in a small way, we can discuss with our friends. That's also putting out the energy, the vibration out there. If we share on our social media, we are putting out that energy, that vibration out there. But if we say, oh, we are helpless, we cannot do anything about it, then it's not going to work. And I'm also, from an astrological perspective, the seventh house, the house of relationships, is ruled by Venus. The fifth house, the house of romance, is ruled by Sun. And eighth house, the house of reproduction, is ruled by Mars. And these are all Sun, Venus, Mars, power, beauty, vitality, strength. These are all qualities of youth. So in the ancient days, in the Grihastha ashram, people would get married before the age of 25. By the age of 25, they are done. They are married. And now by the age of 25, 26, some people don't even have their professional degrees and masters or whatever the hell they are doing. Right? So that's the struggle. We're just trying to complete education and do something, and then we are lost when it comes to relationships. Our body is worn out, body is stressed out, and we cannot enjoy anything connected with the joy of relationships, the joy of getting pleasure from these relationships, the togetherness. And by the time you're 30, 40, you're too old, you have already set in your ways. You're already hardened. You're like, what do you say? You're frozen already. And then you cannot change yourself. You cannot adapt. You cannot flow. And I've seen the couples who are less than the age of 25 who got together. They would flow. There was a play. There was an innocence, There were jokes. There was laughing. There was not that seriousness, Now all the seriousness has come into the world. And then all the psychology justifying it. Oh, put your boundaries, because now you've created your ego, your personality in such a way, and now you want all these boundaries. Now you want all these boundaries. That, oh, okay, when this person does this, you put a boundary. When he does that, you put a boundary. So I see the Western way of dating and relating, because I've been associated with international people right from the beginning, and I see how they struggle, whenever they all the conversations between the man and woman or between the couple is about, okay, I like this, so you should not do that. I like this, so you should do that. That kind of conversation, which is all about like a business deal, like an arrangement. They are trying to make an arrangement. In fact, theirs is more of an arranged relationship than the Indian arranged marriages. Because every step, every habit, everything you do in the house is arranged. That, oh, you will do it in a certain way because I will feel in a certain way. You will do this in another way because I will feel in a certain way. And then the other person does the same. So there's boundaries and protecting, and it's like a border situation. That this is my border, you don't cross this border. It's like a UN, NATO kind of agreements they do all the time. That is not relationship. That is not flow. That is not love. You think Radha and Krishna were all the time setting boundaries? I don't think so. They were playing. They were in a certain innocence, There was a certain innocence. There was a certain... They could feel each other's pain. They could feel the togetherness. They could feel all these things. There was a lot of feeling. There was a lot of heart. And coming to the heart, is so important in relationships. And that happens when you're young. But then as you grow older and then you're seeking for relationships, that's what I call perverted and inverted. So we need to change what's happening in the world, and we need to find ways. This is not final. What I'm saying is just an opinion, but I hope there's some insight in it which might help you to talk more about this, to share more about this, to spread, some kind of vibration of change, of positivity. Not just positivity, but change. Change can be uncomfortable also, can be negative also. So friends, I hope I've said something of value, and I hope you will think about it. Let me know what you feel like, not as an assertion that I'm wrong, you are right, or you are right and you are wrong and I am right, nothing like that, but just to open this discussion and this conversation. Cheers.